Hey everyone, and welcome to North Central. Thanks for tuning in, it's always appreciated. As you can see, we are out and about on a little adventure today. We're going to go see a abandoned railroad tunnel built back in the 1850s. It's pretty neat. Currently walking on a rail trail, which makes it really easy to get to it. It's part of the North Bend Rail Trail. So we're going to get up here to it and I'll get back to you. We're going to go over a little bit of history about it, look and see the tunnel itself. So don't go anywhere, because here in about 30 seconds we're going to look at a tunnel. These tunnels are really cool. 1850s is when this tunnel was built. That's pre-Civil War. Civil War didn't start till somewhere around 1861 or so. This is 1850s. 1851 is when it was chartered, finished in 1857 or so. Now, they didn't have great big bulldozers and stuff like that. You know, they were still using steam power back then. Imagine. Well, it says right there. I don't know if I can get that on here or not. I don't know if you can see that, but it says 2 1868 JWE. So let's back up here a little bit and talk about this tunnel. So these tunnels were modified after the C&O bought them. Now I'm not sure if this one was raised or if it was lowered or widened or what it was, but when the locomotives got bigger, of course, they had to modify these tunnels a little bit. And then sometime after the C&O bought it out, they did away with the Parkersburg branch, which is what this rail line is. What a massive tunnel. Just for a little bit of a comparison, I'm going to put the camera down and walk over to the tunnel so you can see it, or see me in comparison to the tunnel. All right, so just a little bit of history here about the tunnel. It was chartered in 1851 by the Northwestern Virginia Railroad, built 103 miles from the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad main line at Grafton, West Virginia, to the Ohio River and Parkersburg. The line was sold to B&O upon completion on May 1st, 1857, and became the B&O Parkersburg branch. The Parkersburg branch was built to high engineering standards with 23 tunnels, 52 bridges to minimize curvature and offer a maximum grade of 1.5% for the locomotives, which were steam and coal driven, right? So the tunnels, all but one of which appeared in a 60-mile segment between Clarksburg and Parkersburg. Required limit changes in the first century of service. The easternmost tunnel, number 1, was replaced with a parallel double-track bore. 4 short tunnels were daylighted into open cuts, and some others were reinforced with new portals and lining. However, by the early 1960s, the clearance requirements of higher piggyback trailers and large box cars necessitated more significant changes. An extensive tunnel clearance project in 1963 consisted of lowered floors, 5 tunnels, raised roofs, 4 tunnels, and this reduced the tunnel activity at the time to 11. For the next few years, the B&O claimed the shortest piggyback freight route between the East and Southwest. However, once chassis system became the parent of the B&O, C&O, and Western Maryland in 1973, declining traffic and alternative routings led to the abandonment of the Parkersburg branch in 1985. Regardless, the rail's been here for quite some time. And just recently, within the 2000s or so, it's become a rail trail. Numerous people bike it and hike it, and it's really an enjoyable thing. It's got 10 tunnels now on the rail trail itself, 33 bridges, all of which we are going to take a look at some point or another, starting with, of course, this one. So, without further ado, let's get a light attached to this thing, change the battery into GoPro, and let's head through the tunnel and see what we can see. All right, so we are headed into the tunnel. I'm turning on the light just so we have it right now. Awesome, awesome. Awesome. The brickwork. See all the brick? Oh, it almost, I don't know, it kind of looks like concrete up there. They may have raised this, from brick up. Very wet, as would be expected. It's got running water going through it. And like rail tunnels, of course, it's got the little hideaway holes here in case you get caught when a train comes through. So there's the way that we came. Of course, there's the ceiling. Here's the way we're going. Surprising, I don't see any graffiti. Over 1,000 feet long. Over 160 years old. Just amazing. Another little cubby hole, murder hole, or whatever you call them. Now here's some repair work that was done. Don't know how long ago, but it was definitely done. There's a little hole down there. It doesn't look like it goes anywhere. And then you definitely see the difference in the old stone, which is this. This is all quarried rock of some sort. And then the brick, the newer brick with the murder hole. Oh, look, some of it's been busted out, and you can see the actual stone right here behind. That's really cool. All this, look at all that's new or newer than the older section. They bricked it all the way up. This side they didn't. This side's all original. I don't know. Again, here's another port. About halfway through the tunnel now. See the ceiling. See, there's a lot of water seepage. Actual water seeping out right there, right out of the wall. Check that out. That goes way back in there. That's kind of cool. It's something like that right there. That's back in there where the actual natural rock is. This thing, of course, they bricked all this up to make it look pretty. You got the natural rock back there that they actually bored out. Think about that. When I say bored out, they didn't have big bulldozers and stuff run by diesel back in them days. What they did have was a bunch of manpower, labor. There's another shot of the ceiling. See some of the cracks in it. I don't know if you can see the cracks. And they ended up doing a really good job with these tunnels, I'm telling you. 23 of them, over 100 miles. Just over 100 miles originally. Some of them were daylighted. Some of them were just bypassed. And we're gonna see if we can't find the bypassed ones too. The number 3 tunnel was bypassed. But I think I know where it's at. That'll be for a different adventure. Right now we're gonna get out of this tunnel and go down here and look at this bridge. Another murder hole. There's a look from the way we came. We'll have to go back here in just a little bit. This place is super cool. Super wet, but super cool. All right, so that's the tunnel. I'm walking out of it now. Probably ought to put some gravel down in this thing. Pretty cool. So here's the back side of it. Of course, the sunshine coming down on top of us. Let's turn this around and look at this here for a second. What an awesome, awesome place. Abandoned railroad tunnel from the 1850s, 1860s. Still up and standing. 1,000 feet long, more than 1,000 feet long. Really, really cool. So let's go down here and take a look at this bridge. It's not that far from here. Maybe 100 yards or so. Just think about the manpower that it took to build something like that. I mean, that's just amazing. That's an amazing feat of engineering right there. And they did it back before the Civil War. I mean, that's just crazy. That's the raw determination right there. All right, so we got this railroad bridge here. I don't know how original it is. I mean, it's not original now. It's on a rail trail. They've made it into a rail trail bridge. But I want to look at the foundations of it. Is really what I want to look at, if I can. Oh my. I might have to find a way down there. There's a large creek that flows under it. I don't know if I can get down there or not safely. And that's a long way. I don't know. Let me get my setup set up here. Alright, so there's not really a good way to get down here, which is kind of a shame. Okay, well, I guess that kind of is what it is. That's really cool that there's a house right there, though. That's neat. Maybe I can put the camera on my stick and to get it out there just a little bit, just to get a little bit of a glance at it. Let's try that. I hope the footage turned out okay. We're gonna go back through the tunnel. All right, so here's the west side of the tunnel again. Bit of erosion and stuff. 160-year-old tunnel, man alive. Okay, so going back through, and while you can see me, going like this. Definitely not as bad as the last time I was in here. Still not real great. It's always wet. So turn the camera around, turn the light on so we can see. Might have to get another one of those lights. Whew. Muddy, muddy. So when I do a tunnel, I like to do all the way through, walk through, and then of course walk through all the way back. I do have a tape recorder and my K2 meter with me. I'm debating whether or not to go up here halfway and see what happens. There's no electricity in here. There's no reason for a K2 meter to be going off or doing anything. The last time I was in here, I did get some EVPs. But I don't think I'm going to this trip. I got somewhere else I need to go. So we're just gonna walk through this tunnel here, head back to the truck. Cool, cool place. I wrote the number 5 there for whatever reason. That's weird. It's interesting how it's got the water coming through it. They did the old brick, and then the newer brick, right? With the old stone up above, the old ceiling. It's interesting. Imagine back in the 1860s and 70s and 80s, these big steam locomotives, you know, coal-driven steam locomotives, pulling their carts up and down this, going through these tunnels, you know, exploding out the other side with the black smoke and all the loudness that they do, the coming up through to here. It must have been an absolute sight to see. Just a sight to see. I forgot it's just how cool this tunnel really is. I'm glad I did this today. I don't know if you noticed or not, but there really wasn't a lot of graffiti anywhere. I saw the number 5. That was really all I saw. Everything else is just pristine and natural, which brings me to a great point. You know, if you're going to come to places like this and you're going to enjoy these places, you know, be an adult. You don't have to go around spray painting your name on everything and ruining it for everybody else. Leave it nice, leave it pristine, leave it better than when you came. So if you like this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, go over, hit that little subscribe button, and then go over and hit the bell notification and hit all notifications. That way, whenever I upload a video, you won't miss one. So that was the number 2 Brandy Gap Railroad Tunnel, built back in the 1850s and 60s. And until next time, thanks for watching.